Before we get started here, I want to remind everyone to please hit that like button and share this video on whatever social media you have. Since this is a restricted channel, you're the only chance we have to overcome YouTube's anti-2A bias and discrimination. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shit with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic was brought to us by one of our viewers. It's a simple topic from one of our more simple viewers. They want to know, do you think it's okay to modify or refinish antique firearms? Now, I'll start us off here with my answer to that question by addressing a lot of the concerns people have when redoing an antique gun. And I get a question quite often that has something to do with this. People will say, hey, I just inherited this gun from my grandfather. It's an old gun, but I want to carry it. You know, I want to use it as my EDC. Should I refinish it or not? You know, and I always tell people, yes, refinish it. If it means something to you, you're not going to resell it. It's a family heirloom. Make it look nice. Polish it up. If you got an old junker car from your grandpa, you'd fix it up. You'd make it nice. And you'd be like, this was my grandpa's car. Do the same thing with the gun. Now, a lot of people don't like to do that because they like, oh, it ruins the value of the gun. It takes away from the historic, relevance and authenticity of the gun. Well, yeah, that's true if it's actually a valuable antique. But let's remember, not everything that's old is valuable. A lot of people make that mistake. They'll be like, look at this World War II, 1911. I have this got to be worth a fortune. Nah, they're not. It's barely worth the metal it's made out of. They mass produce those things. They're not great. Just because something's old don't mean it's valuable. So as long as you're not long as you don't have something that is of historic precedent or historic significance or of great antique value where refinishing it would hurt the value, the monetary value, I say make them look nice, keep them in good shape, especially if it has sentimental value. Now, another concern people will have is it safe? Older guns, you try to modify them, bubba them up, whatever. Maybe they're going to explode in your face. Well, that is a risk. But if you're modifying it, make sure you modify it in ways that you actually make it safely able to handle what you're doing. Don't just like take an old barrel, like I'm going to bore it out and stick a way bigger caliber in it and then be surprised when it blows up second time I shoot it. If you're going to modify it, make sure you do it properly. If you got a building and you want to build another story onto it, you don't always just build up. You sometimes got to reinforce the foundation. Same thing with old antique guns and stuff. As long as you take care and modify everything. But, that's on you. If you want to bubba your gun, but try to do it as safely as possible. If you want to do careful, meticulous modifications that you do the right way, that I have no problem with. Especially if it's your gun. I mean, so what if, it was worth $5,000 before you bubbled it. Now it's only worth $300. Well, it was yours. Do with it what you want. As long as you know that ahead of time, that messing with something will ruin its value. So it's your property. Do what you want. Like I said, I'm okay with it. But let's see what everybody else has got to say over here. Let's see if they agree or disagree. Officer Hater said, I'm totally for refinishing antique pew-pews. They do their part of preserving history. Did you hear that Officer Grayson was convicted? I did not. That was Officer Hater. A Nominal Snowman says, I weren't never a simpleton. I don't know if I'm on board with modifying. Restoring is fine. Bubbifying is never okay. Well, I mean, if it's your property, I'm okay with it. Restoring is fine too. But even if you're just restoring, even if you call it restoring, if you take an antique gun, like something that really does have historic relevance and is valuable, and you decide, well, I'm going to polish it up, make it nice. You might have just taken away all the value of it right there, or at least most of the value. So do be aware, even restoring something can damage its value. But if it's like for personal use, well, then why do you care? Sean Bain said, I would only repair or refinish, not modify. And even then, sometimes make sure that you know that even repairing it can damage the value. I remember I saw one thing. It was some old muskets that were used in a famous duel, and one of them malfunctioned, and the guy died because the gun malfunctioned. And the person that they were passed down to decided he was going to have them fixed. And the guy that was going to do the fixing said, "These are worth like $1 million. If I fix it, they're worth like $200." So he decided not to get them fixed. So be careful with that too. Sometimes the broken is the value. Who's your Viking? That's for something different. That's not for tonight's topic. Edgar Cortez said, "I guess I'm a sinner. I added a scope to an 80-year-old Finish made M39. It is an amazing, very accurate gun. It does not need refinishing yet, but I use boiled linseed oil to preserve and protect the stock." Well, yeah, that'd keep it good shape. I got no problem with doing stuff like that. If you want to take something that's old and it's actually usable and make it more modern, I could care less, especially if it ends up being a good gun. Mr. Furley said, "I think refinishing old firearms is cool and fine, and it's fun. Taking something old, making it nice. Again, that's always fun, I think." And Hoosier Viking gifted somebody a membership, but that was it for the people weighing in. I guess a lot of people don't have opinions on refinishing old guns or don't have anything to add to what I said. How about you out in YouTube land? What do you think? Did I hit it on the nail on the head, or do you feel differently about refinishing or modifying old guns? Let me know in the comments section. And if you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, feel free to do so by showing up at one of our live chats. We do them every night at 6 p.m. and we talk about all kinds of things. We do this chat, and we also do the Merca Guns and Freedom, which we'll be doing right after this one. So stick around. So come on in, have your voice heard, become part of the little group here. We're a tight-knit little group. There's not a lot of us, but we like to be here every day and have our conversations. So come on in and join in. And as far as everybody who showed up and participated, thank you very much. I appreciate it, especially those of you that help support the channel in every way you can, or any way you can. I do appreciate all of it. So thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. And until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.